Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Staxx. I'm your host, Bill Staxx, and today we're going to talk about baseball bat Johnny, Chief Suckums, and a whole bunch of other ones. But I got to address a bunch of things because people in the comment section seem to, I don't know, be a little confused. That's okay. We're going to unconfuse them. And remember, there's always the suggestion box. You guys all know that, right? The suggestion box. We talked about that already. It's still there. Everett, what's going on, man? How you doing? Full green light. What's good? Yas. Jimmy two times. How you doing? Ronan, what's up? Mike, who are you? Thank you all for joining me today. I appreciate all of you. So I did a video last night. I uploaded interview I did. YouTube blocked it. Crazy. I guess when you talk about sensitive topics, they don't like it. They really don't like it. But I mean, you gotta, I guess, be a little careful on the way you word things like that. He was talking about depression and some of the things he was going over. I mean, some of the things you deal with in life. And I'm kind of disappointed they blocked it because it was a really good interview. And he's going through some struggles right now, and we're trying to help him. So I'm going to drop his Facebook page. You guys can go over there. He's looking for donations. He had cancer, dealing with depression issues and all that. And we're trying to help people like that. So if you guys want to help him, I'm putting his Facebook in the chat. So if you want to go donate to him, help him out, feel free, help him. Now let's talk about why I do these shows. Number one, it's for entertainment purposes only. I do not have any malicious intent towards baseball bat Johnny or anyone else. Pasquale, how you doing? But some people seem to, I don't know, make up their own imaginary things on how things should be. Salvatore, how you doing, man? Salvatore, Sonny Grasso. I just finished editing his interview, and that will be up today. Shout out to Sonny Grasso. Let me show you what Facebook is doing to me. It's pretty crazy. Look at this. Your video unable to monetize, unable to monetize, unable to monetize, unable to monetize. All of them. Fuck you, Facebook. It's crazy. Pain like Bane, how you doing? Salvatore. Pantano. A lot of people make a lot of stuff up. 100%. Let's talk about the cooperators and the people I go after. So the reason why I do these shows is not because they cooperated. It's not, I'm not anti-rat and all this shit. I could care less on what you do. If you're in a situation where, I don't know, they got to save their own ass, come on here and admit it. You know, none of them do. Some of them do, but most of them don't. You know, they try to, the reason I go after these guys is because of the way they act after they cooperated. They come on here, they try to be gangsters, they try to like prove to you how tough they are. It shows you how weak they are. Because if you're really tough, you're not going to act the way these guys are acting. You don't have anything to prove to anyone. I mean, there's a huge difference between telling your story and glorifying the bullshit. And that's what these people do. They glorify the bullshit. And there's people out there that cooperated that I had on my show. And there's people that I will continue to have on my show. You people out there, some of them, I don't know. You aren't the catalyst behind what I do. And I believe in certain things. If you don't agree with it, I don't know. Put it on the suggestion box. Write it on the piece of paper and shove it up your ass. And then I'll send one of these guys around to come collect them. But I gotta let it be known, because I had an interview I dropped with Larry Mazza last night, and people were questioning it. They're like, oh, I'm confused. How often have you ever seen Larry Mazza bragging about baseball batting people? Larry Mazza has actually killed people, and he doesn't brag about it. He's not proud of it. He's not proud of the bad things he did. These guys are very proud of it. So there's a level of respect you have to have for other people who take responsibility and change. Cali, total jerk off. No, it's not okay because of the way he brags about it. It's not funny. He laughs. The kid that wanted to kill him, he laughs. Then he hit and robbed the kid. Kid wasn't bothering him. I believe he robbed him and killed him for his drugs. Cali is a bottom feeder, straight up bottom feeder. These people are all hanging out with each other. Perfect. Because they're grouped in together and they belong together. And what's his name? Franchise is proving my point. It's only going to get better. Mike, thank you. I appreciate that. So we're going to go over Baseball Bat Johnny today. Let's take a listen.
And we're live. Another episode of The Oddest Couple. I'm Felix Avine. To my right is the star of the show, John A-Light.
And listen, I'm not a hater. If you want to go subscribe to them, go do it.
Some quick announcements as per usual. Like this video, subscribe, and then Legacy 11 Vodka that John wanted to touch on them. And then I think too what we should do is maybe we answer some of the comments that were on our video for the first time. But I'll let you take away with regards to what we wanted to touch on from our last video.
And if you guys don't know, 3 years ago, a couple days ago, was my 3-year anniversary for being on YouTube. And I'm working on getting a new laptop. If anyone wants to help me out, you can send money to Cash App, Chattin with Staxx. You can hit up Venmo, PayPal, Super Stickers, Super Chats. And I'm working on getting a new laptop. This laptop is starting to give me problems, and I don't know how much longer it's going to really last. So if you want to help me help you. I appreciate it.
D. Bernardo was known as DB, and he was the owner of the porn industry, probably one of the biggest ones, and the corporation was Star. There was also another corporation called Astro, but that was with another family. But we're going to talk about Star and DB. DB was directly around Paul Castellano giving.
Yeah, he was unlike you. The lawsuit gangster. So DB was around these people, like really around these people involved. Giannoletto here was not. He was not involved to the level he says he was. Not at all. He wants to convince you that by all means.
Or boatloads of cash to Paul Castellano. When Paul gets killed, Sammy Gravano becomes, and is already friendly with D, becomes his go-to guy.
Yeah, and he had no dealings with Sammy Gravano on the street. And Dominic, the idiot, Cali. How far did that lawsuit get you there, Chief? Huh? I'm still here. Still talking. How far did that get you? Not very far, huh? I've learned so much from your show, Staxx. Fair play. Hell yeah, it is. What's going on, man? Pavel. I can't pronounce shit, man. I gotta get better at pronouncing names.
And he's directly involved in the day-to-day business
Unlike you.
with child pornography and DB. Eventually, DB is killed in about, I believe, June or July of '86.
So listen to this. Johnny, baseball bat Johnny here is talking shit about Sammy Gravano, right? He knew that Sammy Gravano was into the porn and all this other shit. He knew that Sammy Gravano killed the kid, Alan Kaiser. Rest in peace to Alan Kaiser. He knew all this when he gave Sammy the money to vouch for his gangsterism, right? He knew 100%. And now that he has a little tension because Sammy Gravano doesn't recognize him, he's going after him. Let's take a listen.
He goes missing because there was paperwork that was discovered in his office when there was a raid. In that paperwork, they were worried about DB exposing Sammy and other guys in the pornography business. So that's the start of some of when some of these people are writing and they don't know the history of the mob. And for the people that don't know, one of my co-defendants that testified against me was Peter Sicaro. Peter Sicaro married DB's daughter, Cindy. So I'm familiar with DB. I'm familiar with his daughter. His daughter had nothing to do with that business. Actually, she was pretty nice, friendly to talk to. And
now, you were the inside guy now to DB, but you never explained this in any of your interviews before. Kind of ironic, isn't it? Don't you guys think? How come you never mentioned this shit before? Kind of weird.
we would see her, around occasionally. And also, well, Peter was married to her, we would see her.
So when you say like involved, what exactly do you mean?
Well, he got envelopes. He would go there, day-to-day business, sit with them, discuss the money was being made, discuss the running of the business, discuss the future of the business. In every aspect of the business, he was involved in. Later on, DB gets killed, but he gets killed because Sammy had concerns about the knowledge DB had about him.
I can't repeat that, but that's pretty funny. That's too funny. You've been watching Donkey Dom too much. Hope he's not rubbing off. Not at all, man. I don't watch that loser. Not at all. Good morning, Joe. How you doing? Thanks for watching. Appreciate you. Take a look at this. You want to have a laugh? Get it, Sammy. Get it. I wish I had a nickel to throw at him.
And who he says there's other people involved, but anything that I've looked into or anybody that knows him knows that this is what Sammy does. Any partners that he has, he says or does something to kill them so he can control the money.
Just like he did to you and your money, right? Eli, the money that you gave him, remember? I have the video of you proving, not prove. I have the video of you admitting that you paid him to vouch for you, and now you want your money back. He got you, man. Oh man, he got played by Sammy Gravano.
And I just had an incident recently at a club. I had a couple of drinks. I was by myself. I was in an industrial area. And you have guys at Albanian trying to help. But they're weak guys.
Yeah.
What? I thought your Albanian mafia was strong. What happened? What happened to all those what happened to your Albanian heritage that you love so much? Now you're talking shit about Albanians? Pretty odd, ain't it?
I mean, a guy took a shot at me, went to point. You know, he hit me, he punched me on the blind side. First of all, the kid can't even hit. I mean, he should be able to knock me out. And you know, he didn't move me. And you know, the next thing is somebody said to me, "Well, why didn't I go outside and finish fighting?" And they showed up with 8 or 10 guys. With
All right, so listen to him lie. He blatantly lies. He says, "I walked into the club, and now I'm walking out of the club," but he didn't. He swam out of the club. Watch this.
So I said I didn't have my Superman cape on that day. So I took a dive into the water, and you know, I said I had my Aquaman suit on. So I made a joke of I came in the club, I'm going to walk out the club.
Right.
You mean swim out the club? Backstroke?
You caught me off guard a little bit because I don't really drink and get sloppy. I was drinking. I was alone. Guys know I walk around, I do whatever I feel like doing. I'm really not worried about getting hit.
Right.
I'm a boxer. I mean, it's almost laughable to get punched. So what? You're in a ring getting hit 40.
All right, you're a boxer, Johnny boy. There's somebody who took you up on your challenge. They want to fight you in the ring, of course. And they're willing to do it for the kids, since you're all about the kids, right? So why don't you take him up on that offer? He said he'll tie one of his hands behind his back. Check this.
We have a very special episode. This is the big reuniting. It's been a couple years since we were all on the same call. For the OGs that were watching us,
And there'll be a couple more because he's going back to prison.
But again, he's not the one that's personally killing him. When DB gets killed, the story has it that DB came down to Sammy's Cafe downstairs, and somebody shot him from the back of the head, and then they took him from there. So these are typical, you know, it's like me and you sitting here, somebody goes from behind the curtain after we're friends with him, and I set you up and they shoot you in the back of the head. This is his MO. And when people don't understand why I have the bad taste in my mouth, because he's done everything that you could possibly do.
I know why you got a bad taste in your mouth. Johnny. I think I could figure out why you have a bad taste in your mouth, Johnny.
That is completely, I mean, if anybody that is approving the porn business, child pornography, then I guess you'll write to me on this and tell me you still look up to this guy.
why?
The sperm smuggler. What about the people that are looking up to him? What about the people that he misinforms about the mob? People out here don't know shit. They think this guy's being for real. Some people think Barillo Pad was a mobster. There's people taking pictures with Barillo Pad saying former mobster. Are you a former mobster, Barillo Pad? Come on. Well, he is down in Florida saying he owns a car wash. Do you own a car wash, Gene Barillo? Please tell us. Tell us the truth. Do you really own a car wash, Gene? No, you don't. When the owner of the car wash, which they know now, they're very upset with you, Jeannie.
So why do you think he gets involved in it in the first place? Just purely lucrative business?
He's a good breed. Doesn't care what he's doing to children. Just what I said. He had the young boy Kaiser killed.
He knew this. He knew that he killed Alan Kaiser before he started associating with Scammy Gravano. And now he has a problem with it. That's why these people are a disgrace. They are a disgrace. They're not ex-mobsters. They're flunkies. They were never going to be in the mob. baseball bat Johnny is a failure.
because he was there and he witnessed a murder by accident. He's not a street guy. He's not a man. He's not a gangster. He's not a thug.
Same thing as you.
This is what he does. And so when people are talking about him like they know him, they don't know him. They don't know anything about him, and it's no different than
They don't know you
listen,
either,
I dealt
Johnny
drugs also.
boy.
So, but what he did was he involved his children in his drug dealing business. He involved
Here
his
we
family
go.
in his drug dealing business when he went back to jail for ecstasy. So he's done everything he could possibly do and look at a guy and have no respect for him.
So online right here, and I'm pulling it up. It reads, DiBernardo, who had been the target of a federal investigation into child pornography, was awaiting sentencing when he was murdered by Sammy Gravano. The body was never found. According to some accounts, Angelo Ruggiero engineered an order from Gotti to kill DiBernardo because he had once told Ruggiero that he was not smart enough to be the underboss.
Yeah, and this is Sammy's story, and everybody, this is what Sammy's saying. But he's not. He's leaving out the part that he was part.
You were talking about a couple guys on the internet recently. Jimmy Calandra's coming up. I think you and him did something together. A-Light's coming up. Johnny Russo, we've had him on as well. What do you think about some of these guys and what they're doing on social? I asked Michael the same question.
I did. I know Jimmy Calandra. He's a friend of mine. And I did have him in my place. He came down. He was going to get a hotel room.
Storefront sleepover. Rampers and Pampers. Coming soon.
I said, listen, bro, I'm living alone. You want to just come and live with me? I just got my dog with me. Yeah. So we lived together for about 4 or 5 days. And he came on my show, and I did a show with him. We had some laughs, like we're doing now, talking.
Yeah.
And then one or two people, I don't want to name names, but one or two people exploded.
To the door. I did this to the door. I pushed the door in.
Him when I talk to them, I see there's a lot of assholes out there. Put it on the side. Don't get into it. They want to do this. They want you so they can get hits and they could get subscribers and they could get views. So they try to get into an argument with you. Once you're going back and forth, you're feeding right into what they want. Just to put them on the burn.
Watch, he admits that Aletto paid him to say he was a gangster.
But Jimmy has a little bit of a temper, and he didn't. He exchanged back and forth with them a couple of times, and they blame me for that, which it doesn't matter to me. I don't care. And so I don't bother with some of those names you just mentioned. I don't even bother with them. I did bother with one because one of them, this A-Light kid, when I came home and I got out of prison, he threw me a couple of dollars right away. First guy. So I try to reciprocate by saying he's a good guy, he's a tough guy, he's this. I should try to help him with a show and all that bullshit. Then he wanted me to come on and do.
He wanted the money back. Now he wants the money back. You believe this shit?
That bullshit. Then he wanted me to come on and do certain things to try to help him with a show and all that bullshit. He's a tough guy, he's this. Reciprocate by. So I try to reciprocate right away. One of them, this A-Light kid. When I came home and I got out of prison, he threw me a couple of dollars.
Couple of dollars? You mean $3,000 to say that he was a gangster? Is that what you mean? Now let's check in with Johnny Boy and see what he got to say.
Taking envelopes off him. He was discussing the pornography business with them. And again, Sammy Gravano didn't kill him. It was somebody else that killed him. He just brought him to a room. And these are cowardly acts. These are not like that he's doing anything that he's actually doing. He's not Lloyd DeMayo. He's not Joey Scopo. He's not the slew of names that I've mentioned before. He's not Scarpa. This is not who he is. He's not gas pipe.
But why do you think this is not like super talked about in this genre?
I don't think people have the knowledge. If you get Fat Sal,
Great,
guys,
how you
Where'd
doing?
you get the knowledge?
Where'd you get the knowledge? Because you loved him before. You were his nut hugger before. Where'd you get the knowledge, Johnny boy?
I've been around our family since I'm a kid, right? So when
So now Mr. Aletto here is pretending that he knew Sammy back in the day. So how do you go from you were close with Sammy because you were in the Gambino family, allegedly, right? You were in the Gambino family, to now you didn't know him, you paid him money to say you were a gangster, and now you went back to you knew him? Doesn't make sense, Aletto.
since '82. So when you get a guy like him, that Fat Sal is one of the guys that were going to hit Sammy. He's the one that plotted the hit of Sammy. And Fat Sal knows, when guys will tell you, well, if he says this ain't true, it is true. You got him that knows about it. You got Andrew that knows about it. DiDonato, you got some sharp guys that were street guys that were involved with our family for years.
Yeah, and you weren't. Stop with this our family shit. It wasn't your family. You're not fucking Italian. You weren't involved with the Gambino family, period. You were about as involved with the Gambino family as Hootie was, which is non-existent. So stop with the bullshit, man. Please.
That know every inch of this, and they know everything about Sammy since he's young. His crew, they know him since he was stealing tires in his 20s out of the trunks of cars. He didn't have money. You're stealing, tires. That's usually somebody who has a drug problem that's doing that. So he didn't have a drug problem. He was just penniless. So, when he puts his image of himself, these are all not factual. These are all lies.
This makes him look very, very bad because he talked really good about Sammy at points. What happened? I thought you guys were tight. You were in the Gambino family together, right? You were the guy running shit, and Sammy was behind you, right, Aletto?
And these are the things that guys talk about that no. When he talks about he's intelligent, and I don't remember the name of his corporation. He had a corporation of construction company that he named the same construction company in Arizona. That's how they found him when he was in witness protection. So that's how they found him, and that's how they were going to hit him. And not only that, they were going to hit him through his back door during his deliveries. He used to leave the back door open. So it was so easy to get him at that same time also. And, later on when he finds out that he's going to get hit, he calls the FBI, and the FBI had wiretaps on.
Yeah, he knew Albert Anastasia. He was having meetings with him. Yeah, just like Carlo Gambino put Sammy and John Gotti together, right? In 1976, Carlo died. So make that make sense to me. It's not true.
On certain guys, and Pete Gotti was one of the guys that were plotting against it. Gets hit with this case.
Next, I think what we should do is answer some of the comments that were on the first video that we made with regards to this. Some are not questions, some are more comments, but curious to get your reaction. Alite and Sammy both are only being human as to your grandeur / my grandeur. This is how I see it. In all jobs, you have a guy doing a lot of work, getting little accolades. Many occasions, you have the smusher getting promotions. This is the back and forth with Alite and Gravano.
No, this is facts. He was in prison. So for that person that wrote that, he was in prison. He reached out to me. I didn't reach out to him. He asked for my help. He asked for my lawyer. He asked for my connections in construction business. He asked for money from me. So there is no grandeur. He's not one of those guys that could sit here with a list and say, I shot this guy, shot that guy, shot this guy.
That's the kind of person you want, right? To mentor your kids. Do you think that makes you tough, Aletto? You shot this guy, you shot that guy, you killed that guy, but he survived. Do you think that shit makes you look tough? You look like a clown. You really do. You are the ringleader of the circus. Welcome to the circus, my friends.
And say, I was a weasel, and I weaseled them into a room, or I weaseled them into a location, and somebody else.
James, what's up? Del
He could say
Strand,
that.
what's up?
But he'll try to tell you that planning it and doing this nonsense, I did that too. I mean, so, you know, when I was planning,
They'll even get their friends, right? They already tried this shit with me. They'll get their friends to reach out to you and say, no, he's the real deal. He did this and that and this and that. Well, listen, you believe his bullshit, that's okay. I won't do it. I will not fall for any of this bullshit. I won't. It's not true.
you know, I've said of Johnny Gabbett that was involved in a rape.
Here we go.
I did the same thing from the street and from jail. This is these are the nonsense stuff that he's selling to kids that don't know any better to watch the, you know, these TV shows.
This is a funny. It's just a random one. Felix is gonna end up catching a beating from someone. John.
Yeah, Aleto's gonna beat you. He's gonna pipe you, Felix.
John better get him a snub nose. That's funny. Let's see, what's another good one?
Rest in peace, Alan Kaiser. The circus would kick Aleto out. I believe that. Daniel, what's up, man? How you doing? Del Strain, we push back.
It's funny, some of these comments are like, Sammy is a freaking legend.
Yeah, he's probably right now. Who's gonna say that?
It is user -V9 U2T8M. Yeah.
I'd love for them to call in directly. So, you know, when they talk that without knowledge, and again, how about the one the guy says that Sammy's not afraid of anything?
Yeah, I'm trying to, there's 1.1, there's 1,100
But if
comments.
he's not afraid of anything, then why are you living in Arizona? Why'd you go in the witness protection program? Why are you not in Brooklyn? I mean, I could go through this stuff. You know, why do you need paid security when you go somewhere?
Now here's someone who...
Why do you tell people that you go places without security, Aleto? Everyone's seen that guy in the background, the big black guy hovering in the background. Everyone's seen that shit. You do not go around by yourself. I'll meet you by myself in New York City. Come alone. We'll film it and we'll have a discussion. Okay? But you won't do it.
who says, "You're really trying to discredit the underboss of the largest crime families. Sammy had nothing to gain by lying. Your boy Gotti appointed Sammy that position."
That he had nothing to do with Gotti. But listen, Sammy is trash. Sammy is 100% trash. He lies about a lot of stuff, but he was the underboss. He was made, unlike Aleto here. Had no dealings with the Gambino family's inner workings at all. He slept over John Jr.'s house, and that's it. 100% that's it. He had no other dealings with Gotti Sr. And anyone that believes that shit, you need your head examined. These guys were having sleepovers. That's it. Hey, Bugle Boy, go murder some people for me. Do you believe that Gotti Sr. is going to go to this guy and ask him to do any fucking thing besides maybe go collect a couple dollars from someone? That's the truth.
I like watching your channel, but posting something that's false doesn't seem like you're telling the truth, basically.
John Gotti put him there for one reason only, and they keep saying my boy John Gotti. John Gotti Sr., he had nothing to gain. He had to gain his life. He ratted John Gotti out. So whoever wrote that is delusional. By ratting out John Gotti Sr., he got his life back. So what are you talking about? The guy ratted. I mean, he ratted from day one. And he used the excuse of John Gotti Sr. You were in the same jail as John Gotti Sr. If you wanted to be a gangster, you could have killed him in prison. Everybody knows the way you handle yourself around John. John demanded and you listened.
He listened. He said, don't talk to anybody. And you said, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I won't do it again. Promise. You weren't in the crime family.
So, whatever John said you did, you're not, whoever wrote that doesn't know what they're talking about, not even the least. That's why I said he carried his umbrella from. I mean, he didn't ask Joey Scopo to carry umbrellas from him. He was friendly with him forever. He didn't ask Johnny Kinnick to carry umbrella from him. He knew that he could maneuver Sammy any which way he wanted. The only thing he also knew was he couldn't trust Sammy. He talked about that on a regular basis. And he talked about it on tapes. He talked to Frankie Lucasio in that apartment at the Ravenite.
How come Gotti's not talking about you on any tapes, Aletto, since you're this mass murderer for Gotti? How come he never talks about you on tapes? Is there a reason for that? Oh, I know why. Because you were so stealthy, right? He knew better than to bring your name up. Because you were a massive killer in the family. Bigger than anyone else. Do you expect anybody to believe that?
Basically saying to Frankie, let's kill him. And Frankie was very quiet about it because they were in an apartment. He didn't want to talk.
Would love to see you and Junior Gotti reunite.
With a sleepover.
And the ring.
You know what the thing is?
In the ring. In the ring. What's his name? What's this kid's name? I forgot his fucking name. Felix. Come on, buddy. In the ring. Like Aleto's this big fighter. Okay, Mr. Big Fighter. Take this guy up on his offer and go fucking box him in Queens for the kids. I bet you will get your ass whooped.
You know, when people talk, my life is moving on. And I keep saying the same thing. I travel around the world and, and I get to this genre. We were the first ones in this genre.
No, you weren't. Listen, Aleto did not start this mob genre. It was a guy from Chicago. He became a cooperator too. But that was the first person to start this mob YouTube shit. It was, I forgot his name offhand. You guys remember who I'm talking about, right? He's the one that cooperated against Tony Spilotro. He passed away. Frank Culata is the first person to start this mob genre. It was not Aleto at all. Frank Culata was the first person to start this genre. Now watch him brag about he's the first person. A fucking blatant lie.
Everybody followed me in this genre. I says, and this isn't nothing personal with me. It's Sammy took shots at me. So when he takes shots at me, he doesn't pay me back $3,000.
For what? What was the money for? For saying you're a gangster, right? Let's hear it.
Right away. First guy. So I try to reciprocate by saying he's a good guy, he's a tough guy, he's this, he's that. To try to help him with a show and all that bullshit.
Expose everything that's true about him. And yeah, I was around John, and everybody knows I like John. The father was, as a kid, I looked up to him. So I'm not going to say anything. Are you mad at him for certain?
You looked up to him, but you weren't in the family. So where does you being in the family come into play? Like, okay, you told the truth just then. You said you looked up to him. Why don't you just keep it real, man? Why not? Does it hurt that bad?
Just like any other son would look at the father, get mad. Like I got mad at my father. So yeah, I've said things, and I said things in Sammy's. Maybe every time you say something, sometimes it's not exactly how you feel that day, and I'm not going to take my words back, but the facts of the matter are he won't sit with me because he knows I'll destroy him. I says on all the bullshit that he throws out there, the same reason Mikey Scars is abusing him now.
I would abuse both of you. Both of you won't sit with me. You, Mikey Scars, Sakali, all of them. You guys will not confront me. You won't come on the screen with me. You know why? Because I will destroy you and everything you say. I got proof that you're a liar. Straight down to the bone, man. You can't deny it. You are a liar, blatant liar.
reason that Dom Cicali said a lot of things out. We're all, putting them out there since.
Scorned women. That's all they are. Dom Cicali, too. I will destroy you, Dom Cicali, and you know it. I will destroy all of you.
A lot of shots at everybody. He took shots also at Gunner. Out at Detroit, he took shots at Larry Mazza. So now we're all gonna, everybody's gonna tell the truth and expose what people really don't know about this guy.
I'm gonna expose what people don't know about you. And Gene eating your honey bun, huh? Gene is now eating globs of Vaseline. Joey, what's going on? How are you? Thanks for joining me this afternoon. Appreciate all you guys. Let's see. Let's check in with Jeannie. Queenie Jeannie. Hey, Gene, how you doing, buddy? Huh? Hey, Barillo Pad. That's gangster, man. Real gangster.
But they do know that he's screwed everybody in his life that's ever done anything for him, especially John Gotti.
Hell yeah, he did. Put John Gotti in prison for the rest of his life. And you knew that before you dealt with him. Cicali, he knew who Sammy was before he dealt with him. Mikey Scars, same shit. All these people are total frauds. Mikey Scars is a wolf in sheep's clothing. I'm telling you guys, he will reveal himself. It's coming.
Said, I'll pay 10 racks to see Sammy and John go face-to-face, man-to-man on the podcast to clear the air up. Unfortunately, they would back out.
I never back out. Never. So whoever said I back out, I have no reason to back out.
Then come confront me then, Johnny boy, and don't back out. How about that? Go fight this guy in Queens. If you're a real fucking man, you're a gangster, right? You're not scared of shit. Go to Queens and box this guy in the ring. He's not going to kill you. He's just going to hurt you. So go there, box this guy in the ring. I will never do a show about you again, and I'll leave you alone, okay? But until then, tell me what bothers you the most so I don't do it.
He wants to talk about, like he said, he was challenging me as far as what I did on the street. I'll go by name, by name, by name, by name. He says, and that's no that I'm telling you to get any act.
Rehearsed. That's why he goes name by name by name by name, because it's rehearsed.
Accolades for what I did, because I'm disgusted with that life and what I did. But the truth is the truth about the past. He can't sit and talk like that. He can't talk about heist. He can't talk about hijackings. He can't talk about anything. He did penny ante nonsense. I heard some of his ridiculous stories he told about robbing a house, and he had the whole house in there for 2 cents.
Dean, what's up, man? Thank you for joining me. He's trying to explain to you how Sammy Gravano wasn't a gangster in his heyday. Do you believe this shit? Like, you can't make this up.
They sound like a crackhead move.
Slayer of Mob Tube, how are you? Bobo Comp, how are you? Thanks for joining me. You can't make this up. This guy's trying to explain how Sammy Gravano was not a gangster to the level that he was.
See, yeah, there's some good ones. There's been basically a lot that have said, like, that Sammy lives in your head rent-free. I think
Sammy lives in his head rent-free. Yo, if you guys don't know, I'm trying to get a new laptop. If you want to help me out, you can donate to Cash App, Chattin with Staxx. I'll put a link in the description and in the chat. Let's check this out. This is too much.
Address that.
I gotta address that. I travel the whole world. I'm in every country. I'm in magazines. Just now was a cover of Life magazine in Germany.
And they believe your bullshit, huh? Huh, Aleto? They believe you to the core. That's why you love them so much.
I'm on TV shows all over the place. I play in movies all over the place.
With your lies.
I make money legitimately in different areas outside this genre. Sammy doesn't leave that little box in Arizona. He doesn't travel because he's too scared to go out of the country. He's too scared to go to another city. He's too scared to come to New York, where we.
He's not allowed in New York. If you guys don't know, Mr. Sammy Gravano has been banned from New York by the court. He cannot step foot in New York City. But guess what, Aleto? I can. I can go to New York City. So why don't you meet me in New York City, go to Queens, and box this guy for the kids? I know, what movie was he in? The Seven Dwarfs? Probably. These guys are hilarious. They are. They're hilarious. You can't make this shit up. You can't. Huh, Aleto? Throw nickels at him. Oh, wait. He has millions. He doesn't need the nickels. He made millions right under Gotti's nose.
Grew up. I says, well, we all love the city. So when someone says something ridiculous like that, it's got to be him writing again. I mean, who's going to write something like that when I live my life everywhere? This guy wishes he could have a life that I have.
There's another one that says, time to get these two together for a sit-down interview.
Hey,
He's not
Brooklyn
telling
William,
me,
how
just
are
wanted to
you?
Talk to me. You know, he did it with Michael Francis. My friends, he picked him apart. He's too intelligent for him. He can't sit with Mikey Scars. He's too intelligent for him. All these guys are too smart for me. He'll never sit with Larry, me, or any of us. This guy's got a free pass as a fraud when he was on the street. He should have stayed that way and kept quiet.
I don't think Aleto here should even mention Larry Mazza, because Larry Mazza acts nothing like this person. Nothing. Larry Mazza was a true gangster. He really killed people. He doesn't brag about it. He's a gentleman. He's not like you at all. And that's why I have respect for certain people. And other people don't agree with that, but that's okay, because it's not your life, it's mine. But you, Aleto, I have no respect for you at all. Not even a little bit. You had your friend call me and try to convince me of how big of a gangster you were. No. I'm like, no, I don't believe you. I don't give a shit.
Stop making enemies with everybody.
It's interesting. Someone said, Alan G says, I've listened to all Sammy's videos, and I have to say I believe every word John says here. It all makes sense. Which I think, to people's points, it's not just about like how things sound. What you've said, and I've personally also like researched it afterwards or before as well. Like there's people can go and look this stuff up that you're saying. It's not like you're like pulling things out of your ass.
Yeah, he is pulling things out of his ass because that's all he has. He doesn't have the facts. And all the bad stuff he's talking about, Sammy, he knew this before he dealt with them.
Listen, I like when someone says, first off, I said this before. I never got caught with anything different than him. He got caught with 100 things. I got ratted on. It was a different. I was sitting in a penitentiary not talking. Everybody was talking against me.
He acts like Gotti Jr. ratted on him, which is not the case.
That's first. Second, I was the guy out doing the work. I say it by name every time I talk about it.
Yeah, because it's rehearsed. People who were involved to that level that you say you were involved, you don't remember every single fucking detail, every single name, every single place. It's because it's rehearsed.
So he didn't. He's trying to pretend that he did these things. And that's why I called him out on it. He could have said, yeah, I wasn't a shooter, but, I set these guys up. Should have said that. You don't got to be a guy. I say it all the time. You don't have to get the one fist fight to be a man.
All you got to do is prove yourself, Johnny boy, and I'll leave you alone. Okay? So prove yourself. Go to Queens. Have a little boxing match for the kids. You could bring your baseball bat. You could set it to the side. Get your ass whooped. And then you can go about your merry way.
Biggest man ever. But when you portray a fraud, perpetrate a fraud, yeah, you're a fraud. That's why I'm calling you out on it.
I think, yeah, I mean, you already touched on this, but this person, and I think it's good that we address like all questions, is during an interview with Patrick Bet-David, you called Sammy the perfect gangster, which we already talked about. And they then ask, how can he be both a fraud and a perfect gangster at the same time?
Well, and I told everybody, I didn't know Sammy that well on the street. He was on our crew, he wasn't in our crew. He had his own crew in Brooklyn. We do business with each other. I'd say hello to each other, that's it. When you're not involved with a guy from another crew, unless they're your age and you're going out partying with them at different things, you don't really know. Did I know Sammy intricately? No. When I started looking into everything, yeah, I got to eat those words that I said that because it's not true. So, what I said earlier, is he on the street? Yeah, he's a maneuver, he's a weasel, he's all those things. He is a gangster, he ain't a perfect gangster. And when I did say it, I got to say, I didn't have the knowledge. I didn't really look into it till all these guys that grew up, he started giving me more information that stayed with him. Guys in his crew gave me information, and then I started looking at the things. And once I found out and I started looking into it, I even believed he was a shooter. Because you don't ask somebody these things while you're on the street.
He wasn't in our crew. Are you fucking serious? You were in any crew. You weren't in the Gotti crew. You weren't in the Gambino family. You slept over at Gotti's house. That's it. There was no crew for you to be involved in. You were a hang around, a wannabe, a do boy. You guys got to face the facts, man. You and your little flunky that you try to vouch for, Mr. Chief Suckums, Barillo Pad, Straight Clown. Talk about his pending case. Why don't we do that? Why don't you talk about your buddy's pending case? He's going to have a great time down in Florida, turning big rocks into little rocks. Ain't that right, Suckums? That's right. Mr. Sausage Man.
Because you're hearing things. And I just said it earlier in another show, you could pretend because so many guys are getting killed all over, we don't know who's who. But once he started cooperating and that the paperwork's out there, we know what he did.
Yeah, but you knew that before you gave him the fucking money. Before you gave him that $3,000, you knew who he was.
Then he wanted me to come on and do certain things, and I didn't want to be bothered with that. I'm a truthful person. If I do something, listen, I take credit for that, or maybe that's not the word credit, but I take my responsibilities for what I did. I mean, I got people that'll call me. I got people's kids.
No, you don't, you fucking liar.
That murders I'm involved, and I spoke to them.
Liar.
People's families, I spoke to them.
No, he didn't. He never spoke to the families. Lying.
This is what happened. This is what it was. This is what the truth is. Because a lot of them stuff they hear is lies. In other words, I'm involved in 3 mafia wars, 19 murders. I didn't go out. I never got up one morning and said, listen, I'm going to go kill somebody.
Only one shooting, that's a fact.
But Johnny Boy did.
A fact. And anybody has a lawyer who wants to waste $200 or go online, you'll find out. That's all it is. He's got one shooting. It's over. So, besides that, I told you, he killed a boy. I says, and besides that, everything else I say is factual. I mean, I don't know what else I could say past that.
Yep. Sorry, I'm just trying to find a good question that
Yup. Felix don't believe a fucking word he's saying. Yup.
we can answer. Someone said, at 19 minutes, did we take a shot at Gene Borello? We're about to record with Gene.
Gene will be on the show again.
Actually, by the time this comes out, we have to decide which one will go first. But
really shameless, right? Ex-friend of Junior talks about him. Oh my God. It's insane. Mikey, thanks for watching. I appreciate you, man. Great channel. Check out a lot of my content. I got a ton of things dropping. I'm going to be dropping an interview I did with Sonny Grosso today. I'm going to be dropping that today. So make sure you stay tuned for that one. I have a whole bunch of interviews I'm dropping. Thank you for the super sticker, man. I really appreciate that. I'm trying to get a new laptop so I can bring you guys better content. Once I have a better laptop, I'll be able to bring you guys better content. And I just need a few $100. So if anyone wants to help me, you can hit up the Cash App at Chattin with Staxx, or you can hit up Venmo, PayPal, Super Sticker, Super Chat, Zelle, and help me help you. Because I'm not going to stop doing this. I'm going to keep it going, but my laptop's starting to act up.
People that like him or don't like him, Gene is somebody that people like listening to. So,
and we did our show with him.
I'm not going to make everybody happy. People always attacking all of us, and that's what happens when you're online. People attack you. But with Sammy, again, if he's such a gangster, such a good guy, and such a gentleman, you don't pay back $3,000, and then I'm never going to stop either.
He don't pay back $3,000 for saying I'm a gangster, right? Right, Johnny boy?
But Jimmy has a little bit of a temper, and they blame me for that, which it doesn't matter to me. I don't care. And so I don't bother with some of those names you just mentioned. I don't even bother with them. I did bother with one because one of them, this A-Life kid, when I came home and I got out of prison, he threw me a couple of dollars.
Because that's so laughable. It shows what his personality really is. It shows what a fraud he is. To be embarrassed. This is a guy that said, yeah, he took $3,000. He asked me to borrow $3,000. I could bring my lawyer back on again, Doug Anton. He'll tell you how he got him as a client through me. And, you know, the guy lies about everything. He lied about the Louis DeBono hit. He lied about Frankie Lucasio liking him. Frank Lucasio hated him.
Then why would you deal with him and praise him? And now all of a sudden you're mad at him and all this bad shit's coming out from you. But you knew all this shit before you dealt with him. That's kind of odd to me, Aleto.
Was working on the case to get him out of jail. I mean, these are just complete lies on his part. And, you know, I can bring in Fat Sal and different guys that could tell you that this guy's just full of shit. They know him their whole lives.
Okay, they know him their whole lives and he's full of shit. Then how come you didn't explain that before you gave him the $3,000? So you knew all this information. The guy knew him his whole life, but you still give him $3,000. Now, what could you possibly give him $3,000 for? Huh, Aleto? Can you explain? I know it wasn't the kindness of your heart. You didn't give him the money for that. So what was it really for? It was to say how big of a gangster you were. Why would Sammy ask him for money? It makes no sense. He didn't do his podcast. He turned on him like he does with everyone he knows. That's right. Just get in line. There's Donkey Dominic. He turned on him too, right? He turned on Scammy. Whole bunch of them. The list goes on and on and on.
And those are my personal friends, so these guys know him intimately.
Did you guys ever have an encounter with some Philly mob XY's guys? I saw Joey Merlino start a podcast. What about a sit down with you guys?
Let's hear it.
Joey's not gonna sit with anybody. He's, you know, so he's gonna hold his whatever he says on his show, and like we said on the last show,
he's not gonna sit with cooperators like you.
I don't care what Joey does. I don't pay attention to if he does something. He doesn't do anything. That's his business.
Is that true? Huh? Aleto? Is that true? Because I don't believe it.
Little fucking midget mafia, Joey Molino got something to say about me. Joey, you're 4'2". I see you in Tampa, I'll slap you around. Okay, you're the boss of 3 guys, the Philadelphia Mafia. If you actually be a member of your family, I'd rather be a Latin king. Okay?
Hey, Queen Jean, you can't even slap me around, you fucking herb. You're a fucking, you are the biggest herb out here. Like, for real. You prove yourself every day.
You know, when guys are going to talk against you, say something, I guess guys will talk back. You know, people are all going to have their feelings of what he's doing, what I'm doing, what he's doing. So that's just life. Everybody has an opinion. You can't stop that. But he ain't going to sit with nobody because then he's putting himself out there even further.
He's not going to sit with cooperators.
Podcast.
I have no interest one way or another. There's really nothing to talk about. But so I don't know what they want to accomplish by me talking with him, but.
Didn't you put a hit on him? You were the hit guy that was going to go get Joey, aren't you? He's a woman beater. He can't get a platform. Woman beaters can't get a platform. Yes, they can. You know where they can get a platform? Right here. That's where they're going to get a platform from. Bottom of the barrel. He's reaching, folks. Bottom of the barrel.
Anything that I've said about Philly, the guys I grew up with in Philly, guys that know me, you know, Turchy's son, different guys that, you know, do I know Joey? I met him early in the 90s, years ago.
I did this to the door. I pushed the door in. You, but I'm gonna fix it. I did this to the door. You, but I'm gonna fix it. I pushed the door in. 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 I did this to the door. Yes, I pushed the door in.
And his card is on file here.
Yours. But I'm gonna fix it. 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 But I'm gonna fix it.
So if I get charged for this,
You're not being charged. You're not being charged. You're not being charged. You're not being charged.
I'm the only one taking word.
Those are the type of people you associate with, John Aleto. So, you guys, I hope you have a great day. Don't forget, I'm going to be back on. I'll be back on later tonight. I'm going to be telling part 2 of my story tonight. And I got a special guest that's going to be joining me. So after I'm done telling my story, he'll jump on with me and we'll have a conversation. But you guys will be surprised to see who it is. Make sure you guys hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate you, man. I appreciate everyone that takes the time to watch this show. You guys are all great. And keep it real. And if you don't like this podcast, start your own. I appreciate all you guys. Hit the like, subscribe, notification bell. And remember, don't be a Johnny.